In this lesson, we will be looking at character classes and follow up with our previous example of the spammers trying to get us with their spam in the email. As you may remember, we had this subject title of the email, Important Rejectors Company Official Information, not spam. And we actually managed to match it with our initial regex, which was something like this, if you recall. So the $sign meaning that it was the end of the line. And now the spammers actually got a course in programming and they learned how to write randomized strings. And they tried to apply it to their email subject. So they started by digits. And what they started to do is sending out emails that contained a random digit at the end. So emails like this, right? And they thought we couldn't handle it. I'm not sure why, because we are quite good at it. And let's see how we can manage that. Of course, well, you could do something like this to match the first one, and then use some magic tricks to match the rest, at which we will be having a look a little bit later. But let's focus on character classes. Character classes are defined by these brackets here, and they define a set of characters that can only match one character. So just one character from that set can be matched. For example, we define 0 to 9 integers here, and as you can see, it matches just one integer. So it matches the 1, 2, 7, 9. Note that it might appear that it matches 7 and 9 at the same time, but it is just this side's helper that shows us that it could match them both. As you can see in the description, it says match 3 and match 4. They are two different matches. So to make sure that we only match the last digit, we add what we already know, the $sign, to define the end of the line. And now we only match 1, 2, and 9. Perfect, we did it. But now spammers continue to unfold their attack and add a random letter, a lowercase letter. It can be absolutely anything, right? And how can we match that? Maybe we can write another character class to match that, right? So we can match A, we can match C, D, E, F, and so on. As you can see, two of them already matched, 1A and 9F. But we wouldn't like to write all the letters, right? Who would like that? The expression would become unreadable. So there is a shortcut for that. That is called a range. And we can define the range like this. So a letter, then dash, and then another letter. In this case, it is a range from A lowercase to Z lowercase. So it matches everything in the middle and inclusive A and Z. As you can see, it matches everything here. And now imagine that spammers decided to add a random uppercase letter to that. Oh no, we no longer match that. Unfortunate. But we are learning and we are getting better, and we are defining another character class. This character class will now match any uppercase letter. And using the definition we saw here of the range, we can do the same for uppercase. As you can see, A uppercase to Z uppercase matches all uppercase letters. Perfect. Now, you might think that the range is cool, but why do not we have a range for numbers? And we actually do. So 0 dash 9, 0 to 9 matches any number. Also note that these ranges are not predefined. You do not need to exactly use A to Z. You can use something like F to Z, and this one no longer matches because it doesn't match an A. A is not in the range from F to Z. So it is quite customizable, and you can do whatever you want with that. Now, let's have a look at what happens if we actually do not want to use three different ranges every time. Maybe we do not know if the order of letters and digits will be this. So first comes the digit and then a lowercase letter and then an uppercase letter. Maybe there is something like this. Uppercase letter, then a digit and then a lowercase letter, for example. And it is possible to join those three classes into one, making it just one. It is allowed to have different ranges in the same class. It is not necessary to have any separation between them, right? So as you can see, it matches just one character because it is, well, just one class. But to match all the three randomized characters, we can, for now, there is another way to do so, but for now, we can just do a triple of that meta class, character class, sorry. And this way, we match all we want. Now we can add variations of that. Sorry. So we can add another variation and it will match, right? If we add a letter, it will match. If we add three letters, it will match. So it matches anything, any letter, any digit. Great. But now the spammers got a little bit more excited and they decided to not use alphanumerics. How can we do that? How can we match non-alphanumeric characters like equals, plus, quotes, anything else, like slashes, question marks? And we could use another character class. So let me add one more here. And it of course doesn't match any of those. And we could actually define a meta class which contains all the non-alphanumeric characters, but once again that would make the expression a little bit long and unreadable. So you might recall that from our previous lesson we learned about the start of the line meta character, caret, and this character has a completely different meaning in a character class. If you write it in the beginning of the character class, it negates everything that goes beyond that caret. So what that means? This last character class will match everything that is not a number, that is not a lowercase letter, that is not an uppercase letter. So that is what we got. We match everything that is not alphanumeric. Perfect. Now, one last thing is that you should be careful that the negation actually matches the new lines too. So let me remove everything here and leave just a non-alphanumeric match. As you can see here, I will zoom in. This negation actually matches the new line. If you see the color difference here, it matches the new line, right? So to not do that, you can add the new line here and negate the match for the new line. As you can see, they are no longer matching. Perfect. And that is all for now. Let's see what we can find out in the next lesson. Have a good one.